Hey collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So in the last episode, or in the introduction, I told you that if you tune back in, I would tell you my story. So this might be a little bit of a longer one, so buckle up. About a year ago, I had my first spiritual awakening. I packed only my necessities, loaded up my car, and drove away from a 20-year relationship. My home, my belongings, my safety, my security. And I haven't spoken a word or told my side of the story until right now. So let's start with what's a spiritual awakening for those of you who don't know. It's a call to a higher consciousness and a state of deeper mental awareness. It typically shifts your worldview, transforms you on a personal level, and shifts your mindset completely. I started seeing number synchronicities constantly, seeing patterns in everything. Increased awareness of energies, good and bad, in myself and in others. I was always empathic, but it heightened, and I was always intuitive, but boy, oh boy. It and my discernment are through the roof now. Changes in my daily habits. I haven't watched TV in over a year, and I don't miss it at all. Changes in my sleep patterns, insomnia, huge shifts in my core beliefs and values, which seriously shifted my perspective on life. Heightened senses, light, sound, smells, and just everything in overdrive. Going to Costco became a huge ordeal for me. Vivid dreams, whereas before I never really dreamed at all, or if I did, I didn't remember them. A strong desire to find a deeper sense of meaning and to understand my true purpose in life. An awesome connection to nature. The animals that were and still are coming to me are incredible. It's amazing. Families of deer, foxes, praying mantises, turtles, butterflies, dragonflies, wasps, frogs, birds, lizards. Not to mention the really weird, amazing connection that I had with my own two dogs. I understood them and they me on another level. I miss them every day. And I think it's why they visit me in my dreams a lot now, especially when I'm sad. A true mastering of my emotions and the art of detachment. Also, changes in weather that correlate with my emotions. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm still testing this one out. When I first left, it rained for 2 weeks straight. I cried for 2 weeks straight. Where I live has experienced double the average rainfall since my leaving, and this dark night of the soul has been no joke. I didn't know a human could cry that much. So I'm not sure, but it's something I've noticed and I've been tracking it. So in other words, it was like, and I woke up to how unhappy I was and all the bullshit in my life I had been putting up with, and how it just wasn't working for me anymore. How unaligned and unbalanced my 20-year relationship was. And if it hadn't changed this far, then it never would. And why the hell was I staying? It wasn't until I got away and had time to myself to process and think in peace, I realized just how bad it actually was. So let's start with what I know and the rumors. Because what I hear isn't always clear, but it's clear enough. My ex, along with a group, I don't know if it's a cult or a secret society or just a friend group with a cult-like mentality, decided they were going to gather up their pitchforks and torches and come for little old me. Why? I have no clue. I wasn't bothering a soul. Maybe it's because that's what your group does, right? You pick a scapegoat. someone to pick on, to beat down, making them feel small so you can feel big. Nice. It's mature. It's really mature. And you gave the advice to play games with me. Ghost her, make her feel rejected, left out. You don't need her. Don't give her any closure, just silence. Well, you play silly games. You win silly prizes. For all my Sex and the City fans out there, it's worse than the Post-it episode. 20 years, and I didn't even get a Post-it. I got nothing. I got treated like I did something to him. 20 years of living with a covert narcissist. 20 years of emotional and psychological abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, and being pathologically lied to daily. Not to mention harvesting my good sacral energy through sex for 2 decades, leaving me drained, emotionally numb, tired all the time, lacking motivation and creativity, and constantly feeling unworthy. Now, I don't know if you know that you're doing that, but that's exactly what you did. He preys on people's triggers. I think he actually gets off on it. It's definitely one way narcissists get supply to feed on. For him, it was any negative reaction he could trigger. Arguing, poking the bear until she reacts, which I now know is called reactive abuse. Crossing my boundaries constantly, doing what he 100% knew hurt me. Just to get that reaction out of me and then say, wind her up and look at her go. Or calling me crazy or mean, which is classic narcissistic terms. This one blew my mind when I learned about it. Every time I would get up from my chair to go pee or get a snack from the kitchen, he would reach his hand out, and if I didn't touch it, I would get a, well, fuck you then. This is a covert narcissist thing. It's another way for them to harvest energy and to try to control you. So, I bet he told you I just what? Disappeared. Up and left him with the burden of the bills and the house, and poor pitiful him. But I bet he didn't tell you that I offered to take over the bills and the house if he would just pack his shit and leave multiple times. He refused. Another way narcs try to control. Him with an entire family in the local area, and me with no one. He didn't care. It was another way for him to prolong abuse and to see me down bad. What else? I had it all pre-planned and I left for another man. Nope. I left for my own peace and sanity. I left because there was no equilibrium, no reciprocity. I was tired of someone constantly undervaluing me and undermining my mentality because he wanted to treat the main chick like the side chick. Oh, and I love this one. I have an STD. No. I tested twice after I left him for everything under the sun, and I'm perfectly healthy. And I have the records to show it. So, not that it's any of your business, but no. And if I did, I would have gotten it from him, so WTF? Like, what? I'm not the one who cheats and is our county's newest fuckboy. So maybe you should go get tested yourself? Or I have a sugar daddy. No. I don't need a sugar daddy. I make my own money. I pay my own bills. I pay my own way. I always have. I learned a long time ago to quit asking for things from someone who didn't think I was worthy enough to give to. I have busted my ass for everything I have ever wanted or owned my entire life. If I wanted new furniture, I had to buy it. A new mattress, appliances, DIY projects on the house. You got to pay for that and buy all the power tools and do it alone because he doesn't do that. He's too busy getting drunk at the bar on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. with his friends. House falling apart? Well, you better figure out how to pay for it or let it fall apart because he's still going to constantly bitch about how he hates this piece of shit house, but not do a single thing to help me fix it. During COVID, he deferred our house payment for 18 months because he could. That was a little over $20,000. I didn't see a dime of that money. Our home didn't see a dime of that money. He spent it all on himself. Buying toys. I mean, literal G.I. Joes from the 1980s. Bet them G.I. Joes ain't making you any money right now, are they? Vacations? You'll go alone, because if I go, I'll make it too expensive and ruin it for you. But if I want to pay for it, or it's free, you'll happily tag along and still bitch the whole time so I can't enjoy myself. My pain was something he would have had to deal with the rest of his life. And if I ever tried to have an adult emotional conversation, it was, I feel attacked, I feel attacked. My mental health, well, that's comical, considering I just graduated with flying colors in the mental health field, so I'm just gonna leave that there. He gaslit me into believing I was toxic and codependent, but no. Turns out that's you. With all his messy addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, auctions, online shopping, whatever. He said it best. I can't be alone like you can. Well, that's a problem. How is anyone else supposed to like being around you if you don't like being around you? The most important relationship you will cultivate in this life is the one you have with yourself. Instead of feeling rejected and letting your bruised ego and pride take over, you should have reflected and went inward and maybe asked yourself what you did to get rejected and worked on that. Instead of being jealous and in competition with your own then wife. Shit is weird, man. He chose to go on some fucked up revenge rampage to slander my name and tarnish my character, where you are somehow the victim in this story. You are no victim here, sir. And for what? Attention? Sympathy? Clout? To pick up women. To control the narrative. To control the way people perceive my character. Because what? You want to cock block? You don't want men to look at me? Because you think you'll have your foot in this door to be able to come back whenever you want? Nah, bro. I'm good. To feel significant to artificial people, dark people, who really don't mean you well. Well, you should have seen my potential instead of seeing me as an easy target. I've known what he's been up to this entire time. That's how I've been able to dodge every obstacle in my path. That's why you shouldn't fuck with spiritual people or underestimate those who roll alone. Because I'm never alone. Never. My ancestors got their foot on your neck, and they won't let up until you start learning some fucking lessons. You did the wrong thing to the right person one too many times. And what he said or allowed others to say about me wasn't warranted. It was all lies. I guarantee you it's a direct projection of everything he is and what he does. I did nothing but love and care for this person, genuinely, purely, from the deepest parts of me. I supported him. And I don't just mean monetarily, but there was a lot of that too. His dreams, his thoughts, his ideas, his music, his creations. Always lifting him up, telling him to go after whatever would make him happy, and I'd be right behind him, backing him up. But I never got the same in return. Never. I was just there. A fixture to ignore. Someone to put down so he could feel big. Blamed for everything. Gaslit, manipulated, and constantly lied to. Held back, kept small, distracted from my purpose. You want to know why it was so easy for me to leave my marriage? Because being alone didn't feel all that different than being married. I hope that all of you learn that the energy you put out into the world will come back to you tenfold, even if you think you're doing it in secret. What's done in the dark will always be exposed by the light. And love wins over hate any day of the week. He's a clown. And this ain't my circus anymore. And any practitioner who was paid or will be paid to do anything to me, I would seriously rethink that or risk having your gifts completely snatched from you because you don't fucking deserve to have them. Whatever you think you're doing, it will never work. Not on one like me. Not on an earth angel who's already in her purpose and fully in her north node. You tried it though. You really did. There's more to this story, but this is already too long, so I'll have to make it a two-parter. And talking about this is exhausting. So keep your eyes peeled for that, friends. Until next time, keep healing. See ya.